Huh. This place seems a little emptier than I remembered. Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope everyone had a great summer. Looks like everyone's going back to school this month, and I'm back from Otakon. So I forgot to post the War Botanist topics last week. My bad. I guess that's more of a damage on my part from the YouTube algorithm. Inconsistency. Demotion. Well, whatever. Well, I decided to do a late night live. See if we can do some catching up and see where we're at. On one hand, I got Umusume. On the other hand, I got some stuff that I need to catch up on. So. All right. Let's see. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Okay. So, I guess I think we're gonna just chill and watch some YouTube, do some React content. We'll go from there. Okay. So, all right. Let's see here. All right. First thing on the docket. This came out looks like 3 days ago from the time of today's live. Let's see here. Yada yada yada. The Kruger L21 Wolf. I think that comes out today. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Holy crap, that's loud.
I would describe Kruger as beautiful, bold, and elegant.
Ooh.
To make a statement.
I'm sold.
Unlike Origin, Kruger ships have a certain retro feel to them, but still feel upmarket. The L21 is a light fighter designed to be fast, agile, and nimble.
Ah, they did the Star Wars thing.
The trade-off is that you have to take extra care when getting into battle. You can't take the hits. You have to avoid them.
Okay, I have a problem with that. With the master modes the way they are, there's like no point. Our ships are so slow. Like, I mean, I don't see what's the point of doing too much balancing right now, especially since we're about to go into a new flight model. Honestly, they seriously need to just raise the speeds. Put it into the 500 range, give or take 100 up and down. Because right now it just feels, I don't know.
When I first saw the concept,
All right, I will have to say that is such a beautiful, beautiful chassis. Very, very Naboo cruiser like.
I thought this is really amazing and I can't wait to work on it. It looks also very challenging because of the swooping shapes and the difficult surfaces.
Instead of kind of having layered surfaces like a lot of other Star Citizen ships have, the surfaces are very clean, very smooth.
The direction for the ship was to make it sleek, aerodynamic, and aggressive. The exterior of the ship has the silhouette of a Spitfire, but it looks a lot more resto modern and futuristic.
We definitely looked at a lot of World War II aircraft, and that's kind of where the...
Okay, so pause here. I like and hate that the engines are at the wingtips. So well, given that when armor comes into play, seeing how this is a light fighter, I guess yeah, like it's kind of like the in World of Warships, like less armor the better. Um because the bullet velocity would just go right through them. But in this case, your engines are literally right there, so you are like in theory, if this game actually adhered to the laws of physics, um, yes, like it would make sense. Just like you need to be nimble. You need to shed the body weight. You might as well give up some armor plating to just do the job. But right now, with SCM speeds being the way they are, this is going to be a very, very risky ship to take. I'm still going to get it though.
Came from the tail is shorter, so it has this very aggressive nose pointing upward stance when it's landed.
It kind of feels like an animal waiting to pounce.
And that's why she's called the wolf.
The engine itself on the wings, I think, create a very nice silhouette, especially from the top. I'm also very, very happy with the form language that we managed to do on it. We decided to expose a lot of greebling. We decided to expose a lot of the engine itself.
It's primarily pipes. The heat travels down it, and it
All right, the sort of like engineering part of me just wants to go. I mean, I get why it would be exposed like this, but well, you could argue technically you can put up a shield and you can block the heat that way, I guess, but I feel like if this made sense, if we flew into like an environment that's super hot, cooling the engine is gonna be a nightmare. If that becomes true.
really promotes how strong that the ship actually is. It highlights the grace of the ship.
The vehicle has two size-full Gatling.
Do that again.
The vehicle has two size-full Gatlings that can gimbal 5 degrees in all directions. You have 4 missiles.
You don't see my face, but that was very well done. Oh, do it again.
Of the ship.
The vehicle has two size-full Gatlings that can
All right, so it's a 2-second animation. So, ooh, okay.
gimbal 5 degrees in all directions. You have 4 missiles in the left wing, and you have 4 missiles in the right wing.
I'm very happy with the deploy animation of the weapons. That's something that not really any other ship does to this extent, where we have the weapons completely hidden in the fuselage, which creates a very, very smooth package.
The cockpit's a really comfy place to be. As you'll see when you look out from the ship, you have great visibility from the left, the right, and ahead of you.
I just love the cockpit.
That is such a nice canopy. I like it. And honestly, like, I probably wouldn't even take this into a fight. I will just probably use this as my, like, weekend cruiser.
It just looks so slick. The dash is such a strong shape. I've not seen the shape before in any of the other ships.
You'll notice in between your legs a brand new clock, which I believe is the first that we've implemented in a vehicle.
Are you happy with the clock?
Yeah, the clock was
That's not entirely true. There is another ship that has a clock. But it's something you have to pay for extra for, and that would be the 300i series, because that clock actually also counts time in real time. So, in terms of a clock that has hands, yes, that might be true. But if you're talking about an actual clock in game, like functional, there is a digital clock that you can get in the 300 series. So, not entirely true.
was great. It looks like a Swiss timepiece that's in between your legs, just so you can keep track of server time.
You have to stop saying in between your legs.
Oh yeah, the fin. The fin was a idea I kind of had when I noticed from certain angles, especially the nose, kind of had some shapes reminiscent of a boat. So I was kind of thinking, might be interesting to add something like a keel.
So, wait. Are you telling me the only reason why you added that fin?
Make the silhouette a bit more interesting, especially when looked at from the side.
Okay, we need to.
And it's also, once again, something I don't think any other ship at this point has.
because no other ship needs it. Unless this thing is going to be going through water in the future as a boat. I don't think so.
It just adds to there being a transition from landed mode to flight mode.
This vehicle is for somebody who wants a nice, sleek, elegant design.
People who are into sports cars, I hope they will appreciate the surfacing on the ship. I hope people who like retro sci-fi will appreciate the big engine nacelles on the wingtips. I hope everyone likes it.
It's very unique. There's currently no other ship that looks like it.
Is it your favorite ship you've worked on so far?
Yes, it's my favorite ship. I love the ship. It gave me a lot of headache, but
I think the team that I worked with was really cool, and I think the ship turned out really sick.
Oh, that looks pretty nice, honestly. Look to the past, fight for the future. All right. Let me take a look at the commercial for it.
Before progress, there was classic. We say, why choose?
Oh. Oh, that's nice.
Legacy in motion.
Wait, is this song copyrighted? Oh, too late. It's always a bigger fish. Alright, I don't think this is...
21 years. Perfection in every piece.
Alright, what do I think about this? I don't think it's a serious fighter, but it's definitely going to get a lot of attention. Actually, I would probably take this over my 300i as like a cruiser and just fly around aimlessly. All right. Nice, nice. Anything else? All right. Okay, so overall though, let's go actually. Let's check it out. Robert Space Industries. Let's see here. Timeless style. What do you... Okay, seriously, what are you trying to do? Sell me a watch? I mean, this pretty much is a... What do you call them? Rolex. It's a Rolex light fight. It's a Rolex of light fighters. We're just gonna go with that. Good job, Origin. You don't have one anymore. I can definitely see this having a racing variant. Or a laser variant as well. But I don't see this having a good fuel capacity given its role and size. Let's see. Oh my god, it's such a pretty design. Like, art team is carrying this game. Kind of reminds me of the kunais, actually. Alright, let's take a look. Paints available, factory standard. Rosso. The Red Baron. The Red Comet. That is definitely a ship for Char. I don't know why I'm getting Speed Racer vibes from this. I don't know what to say about that one. Okay. Now that's pretty. This is the Chairman's Club one, black, bronze. Or I like actually, okay, so bronze blue is such a great, bronze blue is such a great color combination. I don't know with black though. I have to, take a look at it more closely. Let's see. All right, 90 to USD with or 100 non-war bond. So it falls right in with the Hawk in price. And I did hear that the Hawk did get buffed, so it looks like they did go. They probably have been doing some tuning with light fighters. All right. Well, let's take a look here. What can we upgrade this from? No, I want the war bond. Let's see. Wait. There's no war bond upgrade? What? What? Huh? What? Let's try that again. Okay, guess they're not doing Warbond upgrades for this. Let's see, 4 paints. Bonus. Wait. Riftwalker, Rosso, Sylvan Frost. One's missing. What? Oh. So the only way to get heatsink is to buy it outright? Ooh. Marketing. No. No! Don't do this! Don't nickel and dime and bundle gate shit again. And they did it. Alright. Well, nothing's perfect, right? Alright then. Well, overall though, I'm gonna have to say, like, I really like it. I really do. Um, I do hope that, once the new flight model comes in, this gets a lot better, but right now I don't think it is a good contender right now for combat. So we'll go from there. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look what they have to say about this new patch. This came out 9 hours ago, so from what I understand, 4.3 should be dropping tonight. Don't know if I'll be able to wait for it though.
You're here, I'm here, we got one take. Let's talk about the elevator in the room. Now, up until this point, freight elevators were...
Alright. Jared, we need to talk here. I see Shin Godzilla. Gojira. Yes. Are those match cars or are those Hot Wheels? Mad respect for the Hot Wheels if they are. I see some Warhammer 40K figurines back there. More Godzilla little minis up top. I think that's a Lego set. Yeah, that looks like a Lego set back there. Okay. Wait, hold on. Jared, where are the Transformers? I thought you were a Transformers guy. Where are the Transformers?
Were mostly used in single-player, short-term environments like personal hangars. There would usually only be one user, and on the back end it would be stowed when you left and a fresh new freight elevator presented every single time you went back in. Now, while certainly not perfect, these tended to operate better than the ones out in the wilderness at, say, outposts, which, like many other things in the verse, tended to compound their issues over time the longer they were left to run. Now, of all the known issues with all the freight elevators in the game, most tend to revolve around simple things like it just doesn't work, and bigger problems like all my items have vanished and they're now lost forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which itself can often tie into other issues with things like long-term persistence, which we're going to have an SCL on with Benoit soon to discuss some new developments there. So if it's okay with you, we're going to stick to freight elevators for the time being. Now at this point, I'm not really telling you anything that most active players don't already know. But it's important to note that these issues have been egregious enough that we'd already started a directed repair initiative months ago. It's just not completed yet. Obviously. Maybe super obviously.
Just a little obvious, you know, after you literally created events that revolved around them and pretty much pigeonholed gameplay into using them as the centerpiece and causing immense stress. Like I had to like tell myself like, all right, there had to be a reason why you had to be doing this. Maybe they're finally gathering the data just by like just pigeonholing everyone into this. Well, I'm like, but you've had this data, this problem since I came back to play this game 2 years ago. That's 3.18.
As with transit, when working these issues, we try really hard to avoid what are known as hack fixes and focus instead on trying to uncover what is ultimately the root cause that will create all this instability underneath. And that process can often seem like absolutely nothing is happening for days or even weeks at a time. So,
Try years.
last month, what happened with Race for Stanton? Well, sometimes changing how we use old features can be just as painful as adding a bunch of new ones. With a higher concurrency in daily active users than any patch this year, large numbers of players were driven from their private freight elevators and their personal hangars to the more troublesome ones out in the PU. Statistically rare states became common, and less common issues became fertilized and grew into bigger, unavoidable ones. Although in many cases, this still took hundreds or even thousands of players using each freight elevator to manifest a single issue. Now, like with transit before it, or the infamous 30K issues of old, who remembers those? The issues you encounter in the PU are not...
To be fair, at least the 30Ks became endearing. You know, they're kind of like the Bethesda issue. You know, never mind.
Always due to one or two bugs, but often dozens and dozens of underlying conditions beneath and around it, which throwing thousands and thousands of players at have helped us address more successfully than ever before. And since the release of Alpha 4.2.1...
Good. You know, I just realized, like, this is the game where they don't need to pay for QA. They have QA pay them.
And up until the recording of this video, we've identified the root causes of 44 individual freight elevator issues, with 20 of them being classified as blockers or critical, and almost all of them with causes only revealed by running thousands of people into them over and over and over again throughout this event.
So it was a test?
Now, in a phrase that should be very familiar to our software engineer enthusiasts out there, as we work to fix each issue we encountered, the resolution would often reveal another lying in wait underneath. But this is a good thing, yeah? We did all this intentionally to force progress so we can finally fix freight elevators like we did 30K and are still doing with transit? No. Now, while the project will definitely benefit from what happened long term with all the fixes and hardening that's been going in and that will continue to go in throughout Alpha 4.3 and beyond, the answer to what really happened isn't particularly exciting or salacious or any different than what I imagine most of you already suspected. We knew there'd be issues like there have been, but we underestimated how they'd compound on top of one another at higher stresses. It's been a sometimes frustrating process for everyone on both sides of the project. But at the same time, we're super proud of the content and cadence we've achieved this year, and of the strides all of our teams are making to make this the most compelling year of Star Citizen gameplay yet. For every single step backwards, I truly believe we're taking multiple strides forward, and the overall improvements to the experience along the way are what keep many of us motivated to continue going month after month. And with this new Onyx Facilities content drop being spread out over multiple releases, we're going to continue taking the time to improve existing experiences along the way. And to that end, as some of you probably have already heard, it was in the loading screen and whatnot, we're also going to go ahead and extend the Race for Stanton missions while we continue to work on freight elevators throughout Alpha 4.
Good. Because I honestly could not tolerate the event much more. I'm not so sure why I took an earlier break. A mecha break. Get it. Also, yeah, I've been streaming Mecha Break on Twitch and YouTube, so catch me when you can. Also, I will be doing drops as well.
3. It'll mean another month for folks to try to dethrone Hurston from the lead they hit so very early, for you to earn any of the individual rewards that are still outstanding, and for us to continue beating on freight elevators about the head and neck with the proverbial pipe along the way.
Okay. I'll believe it when I guess, see it. Yeah. It's, like, I don't know. I'm usually pretty patient. So, but it's just been the event, as I mentioned before to Salty Mike, this event pretty much almost broke me. I could not keep playing.
And all while you continue your exploration of ASD's latest malpractices. And speaking of which, we've also made the decision to keep relatively quiet on Onyx Facilities and ISC and beyond. We do this to better let you investigate and discover things for yourself. But
Good. That's actually the one thing I am happy with, because I was actually getting a little annoyed. Like, stop telling us what it is. Let us experience it, you know? I mean, give us like a a briefing of like, here you go, this is where you can start it, but don't go any further, please.
that doesn't mean there isn't more that August has to offer. So let's go ahead and use our remaining time this week to explore the other aspects of this new release in Patch Report Alpha 4.3.
Oh wait, is this the one that had snow? Heck yes!
For several years now, we've had these ground storms with rain and snow and whatnot, and those are sticking around for a while yet.
I don't know why. This gives me like uh Metal Gear 5 Phantom Pain vibes.
But in Alpha 4.2, we continued to get our feet wet with the first iteration of Dynamic Rain. And now, 2 months later, in this release, we're continuing our climate campaign with the nascent version of Dynamic Snow, which leverages the same system to sleet the skies wherever the surrounding situation is sound. Sorry. It's a small thing to let us avoid rainfall.
Never apologize for puns, Jared. You give the naysayers too much power. Embrace the puns.
Falling on snowy areas. but these incipient iterations will continue to develop both in gameplay and in its sights and sounds over subsequent releases. And meanwhile, in things you can wear and hold, almost every patch this year has had a new armor and weapon to discover. And in August, you'll find the new Specialist Light Stealth Armor. There are a few different variations floating around, including a neat ASD one, and
I need that, like, now.
this one from Wicklow.
I can see someone wanting that, but not for me.
It's an interesting visor, but it does beg the question, with the blast shield down, how can I even see?
Disney would like a word.
How am I supposed to fight? To which the answer is, I probably shouldn't quote Star Wars, because Disney has lawyers.
Indeed. Ho-ho!
We've also got a new Volt weapon this month called the Zenith Sniper Rifle that, and let me read this text I have on the screen here from Zach, combines the raw punch of a charged sniper shot with the rapid-fire precision of a marksman rifle. Which doesn't sound OP as heck at all, Zach. Now, there are some notes here about how loud it'll be and how important managing heat is, because if you don't, it becomes essentially inoperable, like me. And it's the latest in this year's line of Volt weapons, and like all the others before it, you can be the judge if its advantages are worth the trade-offs. Also, hanger respawning returns. Now, it's a small thing, but the ability to spawn directly
It is not a small thing, man. That is great.
into your personal hangar and get back into the fray should be a welcome one for anyone that's played the game for a while. Personal hangars are slowly becoming our first true homes in the verse, and this is yet another step in the right direction. Also another step in the right direction. Vehicles from elevators. Which is not coming in Alpha 4. I've got a platform, and I'm going to use it to say everybody wants it, Benoit. And we're going to prioritize it for the schedule. After more.
Why you do this? Why you do this to me, man?
Fixes in the next couple months first. Let's move on to virtual currencies. Now this year we introduced Wicklow, the
Virtual currencies? We're getting Bitcoin?
collector and his emporium of esoteric effects, not the actual name. And over the last couple months, we've seen vehicles new and old get added to his inventory as variants with unique paints and components. And that's great. Or at least it was once we killed the RNG thing. Yay! But what about the various ship shops in the verse? Where's my Golem, the Fortune, the Guardians? Well, in Alpha 4.3, inventories are getting updated with many of the most recent ships that have been released. What this means is, while you can still pledge for ships to support the continuing development of Star Citizen, and you can still work for those fancy component variants of many with Wicklow, you should also be able to pursue the base versions of newer vehicles for AUEC, and in a more reasonable timetable from now on. It's our way of saying, yeah, we'll be better at this going forward. It was Tyler Wicken's fault.
It is?
And while we're talking about spaceships, starting back in May and continuing with each monthly patch after that, the Vehicle Experience team began the next wave of flight tuning adjustments for every ship in the verse, hitting most of the heavy and medium fighters and interceptor subclasses within. Now with Alpha 4.3, it's time for some light fighters to get their pass. This includes adjusting SCM and nav speeds to increase variation within the class, altering the linear and angular accelerations, adjusting health pools, and even swapping out some flight controller components. Now there's a whole list with details in the patch notes, but if you haven't flown your light fighter in a while, maybe give it a go this patch. And while we're talking about light fighters, what would a patch in 2025 be without brand new vehicles? And for August, we've got the long-awaited debut of the L-21 Wolf. It's sleek, it's slick, it's kind of like a cool spaceship Rorschach test. See, some people see a fancy hot rod, some people...
I see. This is a episode 1. Okay. Hear me out. Personal shield backpacks. personal shield backpacks would be awesome.
See a Supermarine Spitfire, and some people like me see a Naboo Starfighter.
Jared, Disney lawyers would like to have a word with you.
But it's not. It's not Disney. It's the newest light fighter from Cougar Intergalactic, a brand previously known for the Merlin.
They even have like the Starfighter like.
Animated film about King Arthur from.
Wait, what was that?
His characters in an old animated.
Okay, I get it.
From.
Sword in the Stone.
More about it in our dedicated Behind the Ships episode, also available on YouTube, and the L-21 Wolf will be flyable as soon as Alpha 4.3 releases. And lastly, let's go ahead and touch on this month's big content drop, the new Onyx facilities. Now this is a big swing from our environment, level design, mission, sound, and every other team that's worked on them. And that's why I'm not going to say a whole lot. Everyone here really wants you to just get in there and experience them for yourselves. And don't forget, this is our first multi-part release of the year. So we'll open up that third and final wing eventually, and you'll find out what Dr. Yor and ASD has really been up to. It's more than just worm torture, I can promise you that. Ultimately, this month like this year, we'll continue to see Star Citizen pushing its development into lots of new directions. And, quite frankly, some are going to work better than others. Some are going to take us a bit to figure out. And some are going to be some of the best and most interesting content we've ever released. Alina Mine, Stormbreaker, Onyx facilities. I just want to shout out all the work everyone on Dev is doing to keep this year interesting and to continue improving the existing gameplay systems along the way. And then, of course, the continued engagement with the project from you, who are coming back month after month in record numbers to see where we're going next.
I mean, again, we are pretty much the QA that paid into it.
And finally, if you are wondering why I'm at my desk, where I spend most of my day doing my other job behind the scenes that has little to do with ISC or SCL, there's this little thing called CitizenCon Direct coming up on October 11th. And the spaceship is currently locked down for the next 8 weeks filming for that. So be sure you check out the latest post on the Bar Citizen Global Watch Parties to find out where you can join our staff to watch it as it unfolds. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for listening to me yak about freight elevators for 5 minutes. And I was going to do a joke here at the end where I pretend to push a button and the elevator takes me down beneath my desk. But considering the work that we still have ahead of us and fixing them proper, it would probably go a little something like this. I'll just say we know what's left to do and we're on it.
Alright, fine, I get to see the rest of your desk. Alright. I see a Gundam! Alright, that looks like... Oh, is that a Witcher Mercury kit? Huh.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Grab his phone, it's on the desk. Also, why do you have so many... What's with the stack of Post-its?
We'll see you next time.
Alright. Well, that's, okay, I'm glad that they're extending the whole thing, and, I mean, I guess that's an apology. I don't know. 4.3. Again, looks promising, but then again, 4.2 also looked promising. So we'll dive into it. Actually, that reminds me, is it up yet? I guess so. Alright, let's go ahead and end this game. guess not. Alright. Okay then, I thought I'll be up by now. Hmm. Well, cool. I guess we'll see where it goes. Well, here's my thoughts. Actually, before we hear my thoughts, let's see if we can find the patch notes for 4.3. Uh, all right, all 4.3 cards are set to committed. Let's see. Oh, there's actually a roadmap roundup. I haven't seen this yet. All right, all 4.30 cards have been set to committed. Sniper Light Armor Geist, Wickles Light, a bit of ASD. So I hope we can earn this. Not buy, earn. You know what? No, never mind. There's going to be a patch bundle. I know it. Let's see. NBC drops interesting drops to defending outposts and deploying reinforcements when population is attacked. All right. Heavy utility armor. So, again, I'm actually a little curious here, guys. Like, what is so? What are the characteristics of utility armor? Um, that I need to be aware of. Like, it's just got more slots. It's got more utility things. I can hang what more multi tools on it. I don't know. You know, it'd be kind of cool though if the utility armor allows you to swap the attachments on your pyro multi tool quickly. All right, AI FPS turrets adding anti-personnel turrets for players to avoid or destroy. Providing this card has been postponed. Like, go figure. Enabling new missions to be discovered and added to journals when you approach or enter. Oh, that would have been nice. That would have been cool. New hairstyles, two new hairstyles. Volt LMG Fresnel. Heavy hitter and ramps up punishment. He's trading rate of fire for raw stopping power as it nears peak and unleashes searing blasts. That reminds me of God Eater. Progress tracker, engineering, crafting. Okay, we need to go ahead. FPS radar and scanning, redacted creature, inventory rework. Okay, all right, all right. With the amount of Godzilla references I saw on his table, I want to see a kaiju. Thank you. Inventory rework. Yeah, that'll be helpful. Item expiring enable functionality for items such as keycards now have expired. They are rendered non-functional. Transport refactor. Existing transit systems that offer each design setup. Existence content like here's. Okay. Okay, so keycards being disabled over time is actually something we have in real life. Basically, your ID card or key card to enter like a building, we'll just say like it is valid from point A to point B. I mean, like date A to date B. All right, let's see here. Command module. Introducing constant vehicles taking over control from other host ships. Ah, yes, yes, yes. All right, let's see here. No, I don't want. Uh, got it. All right. Got it. All right. Where's crafting? Crafting, crafting, crafting. December. Okay. All right then. This better be the best Christmas present ever. All right then. So probably next year's when crafting. Let's see where base building's at. End of October. So I wonder if we're gonna have an EPTU for November. You know what? Actually, IAE, not IAE, sorry, yeah, IAE would be a great time to like give us that update, like give us that major preview of base building. Please do. I would sit through the entire thing just to watch that. All right then, not bad. All right. I'm not like super hyped, but I am pretty. I'm. I don't know. I'm not exactly 100% satisfied with the answer. Now the thing is though, like I knew this was. I knew all the events were just there to stress test things, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally. But man, it'd be something, right? All right. Is there a check for update sort of thing here? Let's see here. Not yet. Okay. Okay, okay. Well, we'll see where that goes. Just realized it's like 10 o'clock. Might be too late. You know what? We'll do a stream. We'll stream games tomorrow. Um, I got started later than I wanted. All right then, everyone. Have a good night.